Dr. Ray's presentations, books, and CDs. Visit drray.com and follow him on Facebook. The Doctor is In is a co-production of Ave Maria Radio and EWTN Radio and carried across the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.
Transmitting the treasures of our Catholic faith to your radio every day. This is the Guadalupe Radio Network. Radio for your soul.
Are you looking for peace? Longing for joy? Want to meet the giver of all goodness? God is calling the laity to bring Ignatian prayer into a suffering world. Work for the new evangelization. Go to LordTeachMeToPray.com. Order your free digital training and manual. Find true happiness and everlasting joy. Go to LordTeachMeToPray.com and click on the red button today. It's free. Approved by the
Thank you for listening to the Guadalupe Radio Network and being part of the family. Families pray for each other. We would be honored if you would let us pray with you and for you. You don't even have to tell us your name. Just go to our website, grnonline.com, or call our prayer request line and leave us a message at 800-395-4008. That's 800-395-4008. We will be praying for you every day.
Is your facility in need of additional meeting or classroom space, but there's no room in the budget to add on to the building? I'm Glenn Trahan, owner of Modern Fold Door and Specialties and proud sponsor of KATH 910 AM. Modern Fold Door and Specialties can solve your space division problems by installing operable walls to create additional spaces. We also provide repair and service. You can contact us at 214-357-2572 for a free consultation or trwfamily.com. God bless.
The Religious Sisters and Consecrated Women in the Diocese of Dallas invite high school girls from 10th through 12th grade to meet the sisters and hear about their life. The day starts with Mass in St. Rita's Parish in Dallas at 10 a.m. on Saturday, February 25th. Then join the sisters for a brunch and hear about their vocation stories and life in the community. For more information, contact Tammy Grady at tgrady@regnumchristi.net or call 214-907-9906.
Welcome to Back to the Father, a show about the journey of life focused on our final end, which is God Himself, our loving Father. And now, here's your host, Dave Palmer.
Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to this final Back to the Father of 2022. We'll be taking the next couple of weeks off as I'll be on vacation, and the rest of the crew here just needs to take a break and collect themselves before the new year. Thanks for joining us. Last week we talked about St. Thomas Aquinas and Advent, and following along with that theme, being especially the last show of the year, we are going to today do St. Thomas Aquinas and what did he write about and teach about concerning Christmas or the Nativity. And the truth is, there's just one question towards the end of the Summa, which basically is about the Nativity. And there's 8 articles, so we're going to talk about that. And we'll have trivia challenge at the end. And we also enjoy when you participate and you tell us what's on your mind and that you're there and where you're watching us from. We're broadcasting on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook for this show. So anyways, welcome. And I'd like to introduce our cast of characters here inside the studio, starting with Sissel Anderson. Let's see if she can have a smoother transition as you did last week. Was a little bit rocky.
I am being so extremely careful to not touch anything because in the last month, I think, I smacked myself in the face with this as I was adjusting it. And then also while you were just chatting away, I was adjusting this and the whole thing came off.
Really?
So I'm not touching anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I say that I'm totally going to do it. But yes, hello, I'm doing well. Have my little Christmas hat on since we're not going to have another show for quite a while. We'll still probably be in the season of Christmas the next time show we have, but I got
Now, you were at a party last night, and you had the coolest hat ever. And I wonder, why do you not bring your cool hats?
So that hat wasn't mine is the problem. Dave, I'm a good Catholic girl, so I couldn't steal it, even though I strongly desired to. I don't know if anyone I'm going to try to show it. I was volunteering last night at a local Christian charity.
I will say, as you look for that picture, if you were wearing that hat, we wouldn't be able to see the glory of it.
I don't know if you can see this in the frame or not.
It reminds me of Cat in the Hat or something. Look at that. Yeah, it's kind of hard. People right now are getting really close to their computer screans and looking at it.
Basically, it's a Santa hat, but it has a spring with the puffball at the top. I will say your balance is thrown. Yeah. And I was volunteering. I was helping families get gifts for their kids. And I was pulling a little shopping cart, and every once in a while I'd be like, whoa. But it was fun.
Hey, I just wanted to say, because I see that Adrian Fonseca is on. Adrian, I know, you wake up early in the morning and you work all morning, and sometimes you're not able to stay for the whole show, but we are going to discuss Mary Did You Know? Mm-hmm. Okay, that song, it came up on CDT this morning. Sometimes the most interesting conversations come up on CDT. I don't know if I was just kind of poking at Joe McClain or why I had to bring it up. Because
it was your fault.
It was an unforced error on my part, but I mentioned Mary Did You Know? The song, okay? We are going to analyze that as part of our St. Thomas Aquinas on the Nativity and Christmas. And no, St. Thomas never mentioned that song, Mary Did You Know? I don't know why it didn't hit his radar screen. But before that, okay, that's Sissel. And this young man in front of me is William Kirkendall. And William, how you doing? Good to see you.
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
All right. And you're familiar with Mary Did You Know? The song,
yeah.
right?
Yes,
okay.
I am.
Real quick, I just want to say Adrian is not going to be able to stay with us for the whole show because he said his great-grandma is receiving extreme unction at 2 p.m. So he's asking...
Of all the excuses.
He says that please pray she's lucid enough to make a good confession. So we were definitely praying for her. Absolutely. And that's awesome, though, that you have a great-grandmother still alive. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. And that she's getting extreme unction and the graces that flow with that. So I think sacraments are always a good reason to... miss the show if you have
That's
to.
the only good reason you have for missing back to the Father, I think, is sacraments.
Yeah, that's right. Now, if you were running off and getting married or something, that's a good sacrament. I think that would be a pretty good excuse. Although I'd be
in that case, I'm leaving.
I'm like, man, why are you watching Back to the Father on the day of your wedding? So, all right.
Priorities.
And Diane and Manny are also hanging around. And okay, let's get right to it because we've got a lot to cover. And on this next graphic, last week I had the 4 candles of Advent, and so today we're talking about the circumstances around Jesus's birth and a lot of interesting things. There's 8 articles, so we're going to discuss 4 of them. And what does St. Thomas say? And I want to say, this is just me kind of whining a little bit, but, I have this... the Canva where I can get graphics, and I subscribe and all that. So I say, okay, I want a picture of Christmas, okay, the word Christmas.
Yep.
And just go to the next slide here. Almost every single one of them look like this. Okay, that's to them. That's Christmas. All right. I could have gone 500 pictures in before I saw a picture of Jesus. Okay, isn't that a sad commentary?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And so then, in order to get this one, if you go back, I had to say the birth of Jesus or Mary and Jesus or something like that. Well, at least they had it, on Canva.
Yeah, at least it wasn't non-existent.
Yeah, but it's disappointing that you have to be so specific because Christmas literally means Christ Christ's Mass.
I know. It's like it's not like Christmas trees and all that, but
exactly.
All right. So, anyways, okay, I got that off my chest. All right. So, okay.
Gotta put that Christ back in Christmas, guys.
Amen.
Yep.
Put the Mass back in Christmas too, right?
Yeah, that's
okay.
true.
So, all right. So there's 8 articles in question 35 on the Nativity in the Summa Theologica, and I put them in 3 different categories. Okay. 2 of the articles, I would say, are just kind of fun. They're interesting little questions, and next slide has those. Okay, whether Christ should have been born in Bethlehem. Okay, so why?
That's an interesting question.
Why was he born in Bethlehem? Why not Des Moines, Iowa, or why not Rome?
Wasn't it because it was this?
Don't get ahead of yourself.
What if the student wants to become the teacher and wants to offer her thoughts?
No, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but can you? Okay, I promise you, because I'm just kind of introducing you right now.
Got it.
Okay, but see that zeal that Sissel has?
I was very excited,
She was
and y'all just burst my little bubble. I thought I actually had thoughts, intelligent thoughts on this subject.
Just hold on to those intelligent thoughts, all right?
But I might not be able today.
I am really anal about stuff. You know, like what was it that? Oh yeah, like in our committee meetings, like
See,
I've got
force
the 8 things we're going to talk about, and if somebody starts talking about number 7, well, I'm on 1. I'm like, can we wait till we get to that?
I know,
So
yeah, I'm the same way.
sorry. So I feel.
And it literally forces commenting what I was going to say, and then I was going to continue on, and I said that's what I was trying
So
to
he's
say.
going to look like the brilliant
Yes.
guy, right? Okay. So, anyways, in due time, I promise. Okay. Okay. So I'm sorry. So
No worries.
now I feel
It's okay.
I have guilt. Okay. And whether Christ was born at a fitting time. Okay. Well, why was he born when he was? Why not 1,000 years earlier? Why wasn't he born 10 years ago? Okay. So, hold your thoughts. But do you have some thoughts on that?
No.
I think I have. I do have
If I did, I wasn't going to share.
So,
You can take the second question. I'll take the first one.
So that's the first category is just like fun questions. Okay, like yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The next set of 2 are questions that, interestingly, are really still kind of being debated today. These are the kind of questions that you would hear somebody calling up on Catholic Answers Live and asking. And St. Thomas Aquinas was writing about it 750 years ago. Okay, so here they are. Whether the Blessed Virgin should be called the Mother of God. Okay, so I mean that
That could be a whole book right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Okay,
I'm
so
sure it is.
should she be called the Mother of God? Of course she is. And y'all don't say the answer, but do you know the answer? Do you know? Could you defend that if somebody says, "Why she's not the mother of God"? I mean, she's the mother of Jesus, but not the mother of God. I mean, God's eternal. How can you be the mother of an eternal being, right? Okay.
Well, St. Thomas will have to. Yeah, I was going to say, we'll lean on St. Thomas for this one.
Yeah.
Now, this one is very, very controversial. Whether Christ was born without his mother suffering.
Yeah, that is pretty controversial.
Okay, because you see a lot of these movies,
Yeah.
and they have Mary, laboring in labor, and the way that Jesus was born. Do you know about this? About the actual birth of Jesus and how it was different from a typical birth?
I've never heard.
Oh,
no, I
you're
haven't.
gonna get blown away.
All right.
You're totally blown away. Do you know,
Interesting.
Sissel? So it's like, man, I'm not talking to you anymore. Last time I opened up my mouth, man, you shut me down.
I decided to tune into I was looking at the comments because we had a few comments and I was replying to some of them, and so I got distracted.
okay.
I have no idea what
like,
y'all
man,
were just saying. I'm so sorry. You didn't have to call me out like that.
Yeah, so Sissel will be giving her husband that look one day, like, don't you even dare, man, don't talk to me.
No.
Okay, so all right, then the next category are the maybe a little too deep and philosophical for this show. Okay,
That was an insult to everyone's intelligence.
No. Just okay. Whether nativity regards the nature rather than the person. That's actually that's actually pretty interesting. Hey, if you want to talk about these, we can. Whether a temporal nativity should be attributed to Christ. Whether the Blessed Virgin can be called Christ's mother in respect to his temporal nativity, which just means in time, right? And whether there are 2 filiations in Christ. Okay, so let's briefly talk about the first one. Okay, did Mary give birth to a nature, or did she give birth to a person? And why would that be different? Why would it matter?
Let's go back to the why is he born in Bethlehem?
Well, no, because Christ had Jesus had 2 natures.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, he had divine nature, so how can she give birth to a nature? Because there's 2 of them, right? He was fully divine and fully human.
Right.
So she gave birth to a person with 2 natures.
Right.
She didn't give birth to a nature.
Right.
And neither do our parents give birth to human nature. I mean,
Right.
your mom on the day you were born didn't give birth to human nature.
Right.
She gave birth to a person.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody good?
I'm good. Sorry, I was looking at comments again.
So yeah, and so
Yeah,
anyways,
and Forrest commented that two natures, one person. If Jesus is God, then Mary is the mother of God. That's what.
There you go. Yeah. So we'll okay. So all right, let's talk about Mary. What did you know? Okay. let's open up that can of worms.
Oh, he just went there.
And I know if Adrian's still here. I know he had to get off to his great grandmother's extreme unction.
I think it was great grandmother.
Oh, great grandmother. Isn't that cool that he called it extreme unction?
Yeah.
Adrian is just like such a traditional dude.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, because that's what Thomas calls it in the Summa, extreme unction. You're familiar with that terminology?
Yeah, that's what we use in the traditional rite. Yeah.
Because unction would be kind of like healing, right? That's what unction means.
Yeah. What is the exact definition of unction?
Yeah, and but if you said like man, William is such an unctuous guy, that actually would be kind of an insult because that would mean you're kind of oily, you're kind of
I guess so.
Like I think like an
It says unction is formally it's the action of anointing someone.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. So what we're going to do, and again, I'm not coming into this with like a dog in the race, and I'm not trying to convince anybody. I just wanted to look at this because it is a question that gets debated a lot.
Yeah.
Is this song, Mary, did you know?
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, we're going to look at what the angel Gabriel said to Mary. Okay. We've heard this before, but let's just kind of zero in because this is what, Mary is being told by God's representative, the angelic being, at the in Luke chapter 1. Okay, so the angel Gabriel was sent from God to a town in Galilee called Nazareth, to a virgin betrothed to a man named Joseph of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary. And coming to her, he said, "Hail, favored one, the Lord is with you." Okay, sometimes that's interpreted as "Hail, full of grace," like in our Hail Mary, right? So, "Hail, favored one," so she's full of grace. Now, she was greatly troubled at what was said and pondered what sort of greeting this might be. Then the angel said to her, "Do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God." Okay, that's kind of almost sounds like a little bit of a confirmation of what he's already said. Okay, you're the favored one, you found favor with God. "Behold, you will conceive in your womb and bear a son, and you shall name him Jesus." Okay, the name Jesus means God saves. So that might have told her something, although it was a very common name back then too.
Yeah.
He'll be great and will be called the Son of the Most High. And the Lord God will give him the throne of David his father. Okay, the Lord will give him the throne of David his father. And he will rule over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there will be no end. Okay, so there's this kind of almost eschatological type of like a kingdom with no end. But Mary said to the angel, "How can this be since I have no relation with a man?" And the angel said to her in reply, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. Therefore, the child will be born, will be called Holy, the Son of God." Now, that's pretty powerful there. So you're giving birth to the Son of God. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's like, whoa, that's amazing. "And behold, Elizabeth, your relative, has also conceived a son in her old age. And this is the 6th month for her who was called barren, for nothing will be impossible for God. And Mary said, Behold, I am the handmaiden of the Lord. May it be done to me according to your word. And the angel departed from her. Okay, so kind of got the basic gist of that conversation in your head?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so now we go to, and of course that's not, the entirety of Mariology, of everything that the church has taught about Mary, but this is the key passage of Mary being informed of what's, going to happen to her, okay? So here's the Mary Did You Know lyrics. Okay, so Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Did you know your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Okay, there was a reference to saving people with the angel Gabriel, right?
In the scripture, yeah.
Yes.
That's what he would. Okay, so did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you delivered will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy will soon give sight to a blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy will calm the storm with his hand? So most of that has to do with miracles that he's working.
Right.
Okay.
The only one that's not is about the save our sons and daughters.
Yeah. So I think it could be argued like, okay, did Mary know all the details of what her son would do? Because that's not denying that she knew she was going to give birth to the Son of God. But that doesn't mean she like, oh, and I know he's going to be calming storms. He's going to be healing people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of arguing that this is legit to at least ask the question. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that the possible one would be, did you know that he was going to save our sons and daughters? William?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, so you're arguing that she did know or that she didn't know at the time of the Annunciation?
I'm arguing that it's at least a legitimate question to ask. Did you know?
Oh, okay.
You know,
okay.
like I don't know if she knew or not.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have a huge opinion either. I haven't really thought about it that much. So,
well, you are now.
So,
yeah,
so
okay.
for-
Any comments?
Yeah, so 4 says it's a heretical song. She was a faithful Jew and would know the prophecies, which I don't know if those would include all the miracles, though. And then Mary says, I have to say I've always liked the song, the Kenny Rogers, Wyona Judd version. To me, it's more of a rhetorical question. Of course she knew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of something like, I just there's a couple of, and I don't know all the background, and I think what Forrest said about the prophets, because she was a good Jew. She was young.
Yes.
You know, she was a young teenager, and so I think she would have been well educated. I don't know back then if women were being formally educated in their faith. Of course, she's a little different. She's immaculately conceived and without sin, and so she's not just your typical Jewish woman.
I think it's interesting because it's obviously it's a Protestant song, right? It's a very Protestant song, but I think it's interesting because it's like the one time in Protestant culture that Mary's talked about a lot.
It's true.
So it's one of those things where even if you don't like, if it's not per se theologically correct, it is a good thing. I think that sometimes you have that in your brain, and Mary's even being talked about as an importance in the Nativity, in our salvation history.
I think that's a very good point, and it also allows us to talk to Protestants about it because they've got this song that they like, So all right, so next one, Mary, did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels trod? When you kiss your little baby, you kiss the face of God. Now, that's interesting because are they asking a question when you kiss your little baby, you kiss the face of God, or are you saying when you kiss your... Okay, but anyway, Mary, did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creation? Okay, now, he was told that he was going to be the Son of God. That's a different title. That title wasn't used by the angel. Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day rule the nations? Now, it did say that he would be a ruler, right? And his kingdom would have no end.
Right.
So that seems like, that was pretty much told to her. Did you know that your baby boy is heaven's perfect lamb? Now, the angel didn't say anything about being the lamb, the Lamb of God.
Right.
That sleeping child you're holding is the great I am.
There's another one that's like, that's probably a statement,
Yeah, that sleeping child you're holding is the great I am.
Yeah.
So I wish we had like the guy who wrote the song.
Right, I would love to pick
here.
his brain about it. Right. It'd be so interesting. But clearly, he was pondering from her perspective, which is so interesting. Again, coming from a Protestant, which usually Protestants
Hi, buddy, welcome.
are super.
Hi, buddy, welcome.
I hear Dave's voice.
Diane, KATH 9:10 a.m.
Well, I hear Dave's talking in two different places.
I know. It's like, what is going on here?
That was really funny.
All right, so
sorry, I was. Falls my train of thought entirely. Oh, what I was gonna say is it's interesting. So I grew up doing like musicals and doing and like learning to sing from an interesting perspective where you always are picking a character to sing as.
Musical theater.
Kind of like musical theater. And so, but even outside of musical theater songs, my singing teacher was very much like, whatever song you're singing, like you need to put yourself in the perspective of that person. And so for me, when I think of songs, there's a lot of songs we sing that we don't believe, like all by myself. Do you actually always that depressed? No, you know what I mean.
Right.
Like there's a lot of songs, or I've never been heartbroken. Like I'm singing these heartbreak songs.
It's a heartache, nothing but a. You know that song? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, we sing a lot of these songs all the time, and we're not actually like, I am heartbroken at this moment. But it is interesting. Again, it's a good topic to bring up and just to think about from a Protestant's perspective.
And imagine a child asking these questions. Like, Mary, did you know? Like the innocence of a child. and they're just asking these questions. And maybe it's, my son asks me questions all the time, and I'm
Why?
like, buddy, come on, you know the answer to that, and but he's asking it in innocence, and
Yeah.
so I don't know. I'm a little bit of a.
I'm not gonna sit here. I don't think we can ever say this song is like Catholic theologically correct here.
So it was Forrest who was totally against it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Does Forrest, if you're still listening out there, Forrest, does anything we're saying make sense, or are you still like? I mean, is it the kind of thing like you shouldn't even play this song on radio because it's so heretical? I mean, to what degree are you like, man, this is bad? I mean, there's sometimes songs that I'll come across on the radio and I'll be like, I'm not going to listen to this.
Yeah,
'cause
There's some really bad
This is
stuff
just
out there.
bad. I mean, songs that back in my previous stage of my life I would have liked, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to listen to this.
Yeah, some of the stuff
But
is just,
I don't put this in that category. I mean,
I think you have
Yeah.
to be like, it has to be glorifying something bad. You know what I mean? You know about a song. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It has to
agree.
be kind of
I
like just
agree.
with films and things.
Yes, exactly.
all right. So, any other comments? Before we
Not
move
yet,
on?
but we also are on a slight delay, so I'll let you know if we get something. Forrest did say, I think that was after I made my comment about the Protestants. It's a good thing that it's even being talked about. And he says, "Out of the mouths of babes, thank you, Sissel." So I think he was agreeing with that, but I could be wrong. So Forrest, please correct me, because again, the delay sometimes makes it hard for me to know what particular time people were commenting on.
Yeah, I know.
I wish I had this magical power to be out of that, but I can't. So,
Yeah.
so please let me know.
Okay, so
But yeah, no, it's I have a very Protestant family, and so they always very much a lot of people in my family really, really, really like that song, and I think it's next time they bring it up. Now I can be like, what do you think about this?
Yeah,
What do
exactly.
you think about Mary?
I
Now
know.
I've had this challenge in my head.
now we've
Right.
talked about it.
Now we talked about. Now I
Okay.
want to talk to people. I'll start talking to people about it.
All right. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody for the comments. And again, I think it's one of those things. Like I watched.
Okay, Forrest did. He says it's probably more painful to during the liturgy. I agree. This song should never be sung
yeah.
in a
Yeah.
Catholic church. Like it should
Yeah.
not be sung as part of any liturgy. There's a lot of Christmas songs that probably have been sung in
Yeah.
Catholic liturgy that should never have
Yeah,
been.
exactly,
I'm
yeah.
very traditional
What
on,
about-
on that sort of stuff.
I've been at Catholic masses before where like Matt Maher songs are being played and
Okay,
Ri-
listen.
Rich Mullins,
Listen,
oh,
okay,
God is an awesome God.
I
and
do
all
really
that.
like. I'm not a big praise and worship fan, like music fan. I do really like Matt Maher. I think he has some very beautiful work, but I like it in a particular context. And I'm very big about that. There is certain music, beautiful Christian music that we can use in certain contexts, and I'm very protective of the mass.
Yeah.
I'm very protective. I'm very simple. I like organ and singing.
Yeah.
And maybe occasionally on special occasions of my parish, we do like some maybe some wind instruments thrown in there as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's move on to those 4 articles in the Summa. And the first one we're going to talk about is should Mary be called the Mother of God? Okay, this isn't the one that you were initially.
No, it was the Bethlehem one.
About Bethlehem, right? Isn't that the one that you wanted to talk about?
Yes, that's the
okay,
one.
so why should Mary be called the Mother of God? Let's see what St. Thomas, and this is you got the slide there, William.
I have
Okay,
it.
so every word that signifies a nature in the concrete can stand for any hypostasis of that nature. Okay. Now, since the union of the incarnation took place in the hypostasis, which means the union of the two natures into one person, it is manifest that this word God can stand for the hypostasis, having a human and divine nature. Therefore, whatever belongs to the divine and to the human nature can be attributed to that person, both when a word is employed to stand for it, signifying the divine nature, and when a word is used signifying the human nature. Okay, so yeah, Thomas has this interesting questions in the Summa about like basically, can you say God ate lunch or God fell asleep at night? And he says yes, because that person is God and that person fell asleep. You know, so it sounds almost heretical to say God ate lunch.
Right.
You know, but it's the same.
But because we're referring to God in that perspective, we're talking about God as in Jesus, the Son of God, and who is both man and God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like a proper noun.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Proper?
Yeah. That's how I'm making sense of it in my head, you know? Because like God is a proper noun, and then you have, if we're talking about God is a proper noun, and then we're talking about this particular name of, never mind. You know what? I'm
Right.
confusing myself. I'm just going to stop talking. Sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
This moment of confusion brought to you by Sissel Anderson.
We should have a little thing
Yeah.
every time Sissel confuses everyone more. In my head, it made sense because I was like, obviously, when we're talking about God, we're not always talking about God as in having both human and divine nature. Sometimes we're just talking about divine nature. You know what? No.
I think it's really confusing sometimes because my mom has a master's in theology and she's like teaching it to us at home and everything. And we talked about the natures of God recently, and it always messes with my brain so much because you think of like Jesus walking on earth, you know, the man, human, divine nature walking on earth, his ministry, all of that. But it's hard. I think it's really complicated because it's like one person, but then you talk about the Son of God, and it's like this whole mystery because there's three persons in one God. There's the Trinity, but then you're not seeing like three. Like it's hard for us to comprehend it because it's such a mystery. I don't know if we can understand it entirely.
Yeah, that's so true. I had one of my students say this whole thing about the incarnation and the union. It's really confusing me. And she was actually saying it's almost making me wonder about my faith. And my answer was the same thing. It was just like, that's actually, you're in a good place because if we totally understood God, we would be God.
And it's always good to be, to ask those questions, to kind of like wrestle with it a little bit because you're engaging with your faith. You know what I mean? And then understanding and having to be humble and be like, I'm not going to understand this.
Exactly.
I am God and I'm not God, and God is God and I am me.
Because I mean, in other faiths like in Islam, God is master,
right?
And he's one, and of course our God is one too. But they don't have the Trinity.
Don't have the Trinity. Yeah.
And to me, it's actually
so many Muslims about that.
It's so it's kind of fun. It's interesting to have such a, I put in air quotes, complicated God, but he really isn't complicated.
Right. He's simple.
His attribute is
simple.
His first attribute is his simplicity, right?
Yeah. I will say that's funny.
Complicated.
Muslims, the two biggest things we used to. My previous church, my Protestant church I went to, was next to a mosque, and we used to get together with them and have we explain our faith back and forth sort of thing, and they could ask questions. 2 questions. Trinity, always. They're like, why do you have 3 gods? We're like, no, we don't have three gods. And then the other one was why it's not fair that Jesus had to die for your sins.
They don't think it's fair.
No, it's so funny because to me that's like the most romantic thing ever.
Yeah.
That's like, we think about any story, like, you think of Lord of the Rings, Frodo sacrificing himself, those sort of, you think of any, story where someone sacrificed, you're always like, wow, that's amazing. And they were just like, that's not fair. It wasn't his sin. And I'm like, well, that's the whole point.
I know. And the fact that he's God and he, God can't feel any pain, but then he actually assumed a body so that he could die and suffer. And like you say, this is the most romantic. It's like every Hollywood scriptwriter, and how many movies have had that same
Well, they copy it because it's like the best, most amazing story ever told,
Exactly, yeah.
I told you my favorite movie is Shane, and it's basically it's the story of Jesus Christ. I mean, it put in a Western,
the Christ figure
a man
type,
sacrificing himself for a family, and it's beautiful. So,
I've been reading a book for several years. We won't get into that, about Christ figures in different science fiction and fantasy.
Oh, I have the same book. I've read it more than once. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah.
Does it have a title?
I think it's called Christ Figures. Yeah, Star Wars, Star Trek. Yeah,
it's called From Star Wars to Superman.
Yeah, so it's really cool.
It's a great book.
And then also, by the way, Mary commented, our puny human brains can't comprehend the mystery. We just need to believe. I'm like, yep. Sometimes we just got to recognize that we're...
And that's why, we accept things on faith, but it doesn't contradict reason.
Right.
Somebody asked me one time on my YouTube channel, they said, does the Trinity contradict the law of non-contradiction? Can you have...
Whoa.
And I would say it does not contradict the law of non-contradiction. Can you have 3... Because if you had 3 natures in one nature, that would be a contradiction.
Right.
But you don't have 3 natures in one nature. You have 3 persons in one nature, in one essence. They're different things. And so it's a good question to ask, though. All right, so, going on. Now, conception and birth are attributed to the person, and hypostasis in respect of that nature in which it is conceived and born. Since, therefore, the human nature was taken by the divine person in the very beginning of the conception, it follows that it can be truly said that God was conceived and born of the Virgin. Now, from this, a woman called a man's mother, that she conceived him and gave birth to him. Therefore, the Blessed Virgin is truly the mother of God. Okay, so that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so the next one is, was he born without suffering? Now, this is the one that...
Well, was Mary born? Or was Mary, like, did she give birth without suffering?
Without suffering,
right.
yes.
Because I don't think usually the baby doesn't suffer too much as much. It's
they
like,
cry, though.
They do cry. Well, it's because they're just like, whoa, whole new world out here. Let's see.
Yeah. Well, I remember when my first child was born, who now is 18 years old, and it was a C-section, and I just like held her, and she was like screaming, and like
she's like bright lights.
My first thought was like, ugh. Just like they look weird.
You should tell her that every year on her birthday.
I do,
She's like, oh man, I was just like, oh, what is that?
But
no, I mean, yes, of course he could, have some suffering as well, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now get a load of this. Okay. So it says here, the pains of childbirth are caused by the infant opening the passage from the womb. Now, it has been said that Christ came forth from the closed womb of his mother, and consequently without opening the passage. Consequently, there was no pain in that birth, as neither was there any corruption. On the contrary, there was much joy therein, for that God-man was born into the world, according to Isaiah 35. Like the lily, it shall bud forth and blossom, and shall rejoice with joy and praise.
Well, thank goodness for Mary, because she was in a stable.
Yeah, it could have been.
Like they already didn't have the strong pain medications we have nowadays, but even so, she wasn't even in a proper bed.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but the teaching of the church is that Mary was a virgin before she gave birth to Jesus, after she gave birth to Jesus, and during. Okay, which means that Jesus did not come through, as he says here, an open womb. He just came out. Wow. Joe was mentioning something this morning about like as light passes through, like because there's a quality that Jesus will have in his resurrected body, and we will as well, called subtlety, where you basically can like walk through walls, or you can go through walls.
Right.
And
kind of invisible, like if you think about it,
He just kind of floated
it's like
through.
he was able to just pass through.
Interesting.
And not come through.
I've never thought about that before.
I've never thought about that either, but it's so funny because you think about little kids who don't know exactly how mommies give birth to babies, and you could just picture that's something that they would come up with. Is they just pop out. They just kind of float through your tummy and they come out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very simple.
It is. It's very
so you never heard that before.
No, that's really interesting.
Yeah, because otherwise she would have had pain, and that would have gone against the teaching of the church. So anybody commenting out there, or did y'all know this, or had y'all heard about this before? That this was and now how that is called virginity. Because obviously virginity pre and post means, relations with a man, but this clearly doesn't have to do with relations. But I think it has to do with the integrity of her body, and somehow that would have been a loss of integrity, and it would have caused pain.
Yeah.
And so that has to do with her perpetual virginity, that she would have been a virgin even during the course of the pregnancy. So, I mean, the birth, right? All right, so next one, the third of four. Okay, this is your big moment, Sissel. I didn't forget. Why was Jesus born in Bethlehem and not Rome or
So I'm pretty sure, at least to my knowledge here, I might be completely wrong and just like crushed.
You might be. Yeah, we'll let you know if you are.
Because it was the city of David, and Jesus descends from the line of David, and so to be born in the city of David. And Forrest had commented later on something I'd forgotten. He commented earlier that it was also translated as the city of bread, and our Lord is the bread of life. So those are two big things. And also kind of going back to, we always are like, why do we have all these genealogies in the Bible sometimes, especially like, was it Matthew that has all the genealogies?
Yeah, Matthew and Luke.
Kind of go through Jesus. It's because if you think about it at the time, how important it was for them and how it was prophesied that it'd be the son of David. And so it's kind of like just fulfilling all that prophecy. Those are my 2 cents. And plus Forrest.
I think another interesting thing about, comparing maybe why Bethlehem over Rome or something like that. I think it's I like to think of the third mystery of the joyful mysteries, and the fruit of that mystery is pure poverty in spirit. I think it has to do a lot with poverty. I mean, Bethlehem is a smaller city than Rome. Rome is more like where the emperor lives. And Christ didn't come to be like an earthly king. He came to be more poor in spirit, like kingdom of heaven and all that. So it's a little bit
humbler.
Yeah, I like to think of it comparing Rome and Bethlehem that way.
It's interesting you say that, because in a different part of the Summa, we'll probably cover this in the spring during Holy Week, but he asked a question about why did Jesus die in Jerusalem? And that exact reasoning that you're using is one of the things that Thomas says is that was a big, big city.
Right.
And it was important for that to be seen, that part of him with his death, where everybody could witness it. And
so humble beginnings.
Very humble beginnings, but
right.
dying in a place. And also it's more humiliating. You know, if you're going to be, scourged and crucified, you'd probably rather it be in a little town of, 50 people than one of the most significant cities in the world at the time, which was Jerusalem, right?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think your point is well taken there. Okay, so Sissy, you nailed it between you and Forrest. Thomas says Christ willed to be born in Bethlehem for two reasons. First, because he was made of the seed of David according to the flesh, as it was written, to whom also was a special promise made concerning Christ according to 2 Kings. The man to whom it was appointed concerning the Christ of the God of Jacob said, therefore he willed to be born at Bethlehem, where David was born, in order that by the very birthplace the promise made to David might be shown to be fulfilled. The evangelist points this out by saying, because he was of the house and of the family of David. So good to you. Good for you. And then Forrest's point here, secondly, because, as Gregory says, Bethlehem is interpreted as the house of bread. It is Christ himself who said, I am the living bread which came down from heaven. Okay, so
good tag teaming there.
yeah, boy, that was. And then I think what William said, even though it didn't show up, and again, this is just the corpus.
Portion of it.
Yeah. William brought it to another level.
Yeah.
All
right, I was gonna say we all work together and just like blended it together, right?
That's fair.
I love that offended look that Sizzle has. Like, wait, did I just get insulted? Kind of like when I said that we're not going to cover those 4 articles because they're too deep for
too philosophical.
Too philosophical.
Too philosophical.
A little too heavy. Okay, we need more of the soft food. Okay. All right. So finally, the last one. Why was Christ born at the time that he was born?
Ooh.
And I love the first explanation here.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I've heard someone talk about this before, but I don't think I know. I have a real deep thought. You said you thought you had something on this, right?
I think I did. I kind of lost it. I can't exactly remember what I wanted to say.
You're smarter at the beginning of the show, right?
That's smart.
See, Dave, this is what happens when you cut people off and don't let them speak. The thoughts go away.
You had this brilliant thought, world-changing thoughts, and it's like, what the? Oh, got this. Well,
Yeah.
Now
It'll come back.
This may not apply to this, but my mom used to say, if you can't remember, it probably wasn't that important.
That's what I say all the time.
Yeah.
But then I remember it was like my electricity bill, and then my power got turned off.
That's what actually was kind of important, huh?
I mean, maybe.
Oh, that's great. That should be like a stand-up comic line.
See, I have great little one-off things. I don't think I could do
the shorts.
There we go. That's will be part of the shorts.
So, all right. So here we go. Okay, there is this difference between Christ and other men, that whereas they are born subject to the restrictions of time, Christ, as the Lord and Maker of all time, chose a time in which to be born, just as he chose a mother and a birthplace. And since what is of God is well ordered and becomingly arranged, it follows that Christ was born at a most fitting time. Wouldn't it be cool if you could, be up in heaven and then God's like, when do you want to be born? Mm-hmm. And I'd say, I'd kind of like to be born, whenever.
Yeah. Oh, it came back to me, by the way.
It came back.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's probably, I think one of the reasons he decided to come at this time is, I like to kind of think of then and at the end of the world, here he's coming as the Prince of Peace. Augustus Caesar was just made Emperor of Rome. They took down the Republic and all that stuff. And so he's coming in Bethlehem on the other side of the world at that time. And he's coming as the Prince of Peace to bring peace to the earth. Because I think, I can't exactly remember for sure, but I believe after Augustus Caesar was crowned emperor, there was this time of peace in the world. And
Dude,
so
man, you're totally nailing this. I mean, seriously, this is.
Look at you, William.
No, I mean,
see, he had a smart thought that he was trying to remember.
No, that's exactly what Aquinas is just about to say. Get a load of this. I mean, that is okay. Listen,
go, William.
Okay, so I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm like, man,
yeah.
So did that just come into your head, or?
Partly, I've also studied it a tiny bit, but yeah, some of it did come just then.
So, okay, second paragraph, tell me if this is exactly what you were thinking or if close. Moreover, at that time, when the whole world lived under one ruler, peace abounded on the earth. Therefore, it was fitting time for the birth of Christ, for he is our peace, who hath made both one, as it is written. Wherefore, Jerome says, if we search the page of ancient history, we shall find that throughout the whole world there was discord until the 28th year of Augustus Caesar, whom you mentioned. Mm-hmm. But when our Lord was born, all war ceased. According to Isaiah 2:4, nation shall not lift up sword against nation. Again, it was fitting that Christ should be born while the world was governed by one ruler, because he came to gather his own, that there might be one fold and one shepherd. So,
very
pretty
interesting.
Cool.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Good job, William.
Thank you. Yeah.
Gold star for you. Can I steal this, by the way?
Yeah, can you? Well, yes. If I give permission, it's not stealing. So, yeah. So,
I think it's also kind of parallel to like the end of the world. He's going to come as the just judge, obviously, but in the end, it's going to be, there's going to be one more final war, one more final battle, the Battle of Armageddon, I guess we call it, and then there's going to be peace, and we all live happily ever after. It's kind of like I kind of like to think of it that way and parallel them like that, because
yeah.
Mary made an interesting comment. She said, "I've always wondered if Mary staying with Elizabeth for the birth of John was for Mary to know what regular childbirth was like prior to what she would experience. So she knew it would be different from what
So she kind of contrast.
Yeah,
and,
she's kind of like,
yeah.
that would have been different.
Yeah, I think that's. But don't you think a Jewish girl of that age probably would have witnessed a lot of births?
Good question.
I feel like it. Yeah, there's
just
this,
neighbors.
It's funny because I feel like most girls nowadays would not, unless it's like a sister or something, probably have not experienced a birth unless they're like a nurse or something.
When my when my daughter Maura witnessed my son being born, she said, "I never want to have a child." She did,
that's what happens
and she actually said she wanted to be a nun. And
she's like, "I found my vocation."
That's not the reason you want to be a nun.
That's not. Because if you,
did you tell this story before?
Yeah, I did, probably many times.
That's hysterical. Sorry, Maura.
I tell the same stories a lot, but yeah, she used to want to be a nun, and then just because she didn't.
That's funny.
Anyways, I don't think a vocation director would say that's a good reason to become a nun.
Yeah, no, generally not.
Yeah, you got to go a little bit deeper than that.
Yeah.
All right. So that pretty much does it. Those are 4 of the 8 articles that I thought that this crowd could handle. And then the Nativity.
I really want to make some merchandise with some of our most insulting comments. Not what this crowd could handle. T-shirts. Watch Back to the Father.
But then again, you guys are like nailing it. I mean, you're predicting things that
We've
Thomas is going to say.
outgrown the master, William.
Yes. I'm telling you, next 2 weeks I'm going to be gone, but y'all aren't.
Yes.
Back to the Father with Sissel and William.
Except for we're off both days, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
We could try. We could try.
But that would be 2 days before Christmas. That's not Christmas Eve.
True.
All right. So
True.
you have no excuse.
Oh, we have that day off.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Oh,
we have the 23rd through the 26th off.
Oh, okay.
And then we technically have the afternoon of the 30th off.
Okay. All right. So
just saying. But maybe.
This is around the time of the show that we turn to Sissel so that she can mosey us into the next phase of our show.
All right. It's that time of the show for the last time in 2022 that we give Dave Summa to think about.
And he gives it right back.
Beautiful.
All right. Do we have our little graphic showing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's there.
Do you know how much I put so much effort into that graphic?
I know. And it shows.
Days.
It shows.
Days. Yeah.
It shows. Okay. So we typically go William, Sissel, me, and William, you're up. One question.
I'm going to have to pull the Jonathan. I don't have one.
You got nothing.
I don't have one today.
Man, the last show of the year.
And how funny that, you're like, Jonathan, that's his living legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Except that he came without questions.
Right. But sometimes he thinks of one during the show, but I didn't.
That's what I was trying to give William the inside scoop here is that I sometimes start the show not having trivia either.
Really?
But whenever you ask, I say, oh, yeah. Because I will by the time we get around to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but usually I'm talking during the show and
You
making all
can't.
these comments. It's hard to
Yeah.
think
Just
of one.
space out like I do.
All right. So.
I
Yeah, all
do
right.
have it.
Okay. Well, that's okay.
I actually have
we,
two.
we
I'll
forgive
pass it
you,
on to
and
Sissel.
I'm
Perfect.
sure in the new year
I'll do my best.
You'll
do
better
better.
yourself.
I'll
You
do
know,
my
new
best.
year, new
Yeah.
you.
You
That's what-
finished 2022 strong, by the way.
Yeah.
But you did with the content. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
you did.
True.
Okay.
Not the questions.
He had
but
to
yeah.
focus in one place at a time,
Yeah.
Okay, that kind of works. So I actually kind of have two forms of trivia, and I'm super basic as usual. I just I have two lists in front of me. I've
Okay.
got the top 10 highest grossing Christmas films, and then the top. Just making sure you don't have the same thing, and then the top 10 highest selling Christmas songs. So what I was going to do is go back and forth between the two of you, and we'll start with the Christmas movies. And if
10 of them.
10 of them,
Okay.
so you're going
If
to
you
go.
get one on the list, you get a point.
No, you just get to keep playing. If you get 3 wrong ones, you get like tallies against you.
Okay.
Then you
You're out.
can't move. Yeah, you're out. So
So 3 strikes.
3
basically.
strikes, you're
Okay.
out. So
So
we'll
I
do-
got either song or
we're going to start with just movie first. We're
Okay.
gonna do just because that's too much to keep track of, and then we'll do
Okay.
that. I will keep track of points too, so maybe we can have final points at the end. But all right, who wants to go first? First person to speak gets to start.
I'll go.
Well, you have to say the movie.
Oh, okay. Home Alone.
Yes, that's number 2 on the list.
Okay. Elf.
Yes, that's
All right.
number 8 on the list.
A Christmas Story.
What?
Dave's got a tally against you.
What's that? It's a Wonderful Life.
No.
Oh, they may not officially consider that a Christmas movie because it
okay.
really is not about Christmas. I mean,
True,
people,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
We started so strong, guys.
Miracle on 34th Street.
No. What? Whoa, this game might end way faster than I think. I might have to make it 5 strikes. All right.
Let's see.
Let me just throw this out there. There are no really old ones on here.
Not really. Okay.
Like not much older than like Home Alone, basically.
Okay.
Oh, so these are all
Really?
These are all in the last like
okay.
30, 40 years.
Okay, so like 1990s and
None of those.
forward. Okay.
Oh wow.
Oh man, I
So-
can't think of any right now. It's weird. Mine's blank.
So you have 2 strikes or 1?
I have 1, I believe.
Yeah.
And I have 2.
One.
You have 2, Dave. Wow.
I really
Slow.
can't think of any after.
I'm glad I
I'm
prepared the
gonna-
second list.
Should I go?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna say the newer version of The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Which one?
The newest one.
The one with Benedict Cumberbatch, the cartoon one?
Sure.
Okay.
No, yeah, yes.
The cartoon. Okay. Yes, it's
Okay.
number 1. That's actually the top selling
really?
Christmas film now. It
Is
came out in
that right?
2018.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay. that makes
So
sense,
good job, Dave.
Okay, thank you.
And then, all right. So that one's off the table.
Okay, I said Elf, and I.
He's like, I'm out of ideas.
Yeah, because I watch that one almost every year, and I
that
can't.
was a good moment for you in this
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
Yeah. What other
Um,
movies came out after Home Alone?
Should I, can we
Yeah,
just,
you
can
go
it just
for
be
it.
now?
Go
We
for
throw
it.
them out there.
Yeah, just go for it.
Christmas with the Cranks?
Nope.
No. How about the Christmas? What's that Tim Allen one?
The Real Santa Claus.
I'm going to give it to him. It's the Santa Claus.
The
Oh,
Santa
okay,
Claus.
okay.
The Santa
yeah.
Claus. Yes, that's number 10. Just barely
Okay.
made the
Oh,
list.
okay. Barely.
Congratulations.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest, one of these I never heard of.
Oh, really?
Actually, 2 of these.
Are there any like big ones that we're missing?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple, I'd say.
okay.
There's 2, I think, that you all... Or actually 3, really.
Did we say the Christmas Story yet?
Yes, and
Okay.
that one's not on it.
Now, I was gonna say the Christmas Carol. I mean, Christmas Carol, the one with Scrooge, but that's old, and that you said there are no old ones. Okay, because that's the big Christmas music.
Yeah.
I mean movie, or whatever.
What's that one that I can't remember what it's called, but I really liked it.
Describe
It
the
was
film.
it was the one. It was like about Scrooge, but it was the guy writing it.
Oh,
Do you-
about Charles Dickens?
Yes,
Something like
yes,
that.
Charles. Yeah.
Which one is that?
I know one.
What was
Yeah.
that one called?
I don't know.
Polar Express.
Polar Express is on it.
Oh.
That's number 6.
Now that's not what you're talking about. Though.
No.
No,
Okay.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name of that
Yeah,
one.
me
I'm
neither.
sorry.
Yeah.
But it's not on the list,
It's
I
on the
don't think
list.
so.
Okay.
All right, there are 5 left.
Okay. Is anybody guessing?
Yeah, we've had a few. I've been looking at them.
Are they right?
So far, no, none of them have been
Christmas
right.
Vacation.
No,
That's too
White
old.
Christmas is not either.
White Christmas.
It's an interesting. It's really just by the finances of how much money these movies made. So do you all give up? Do you want me to list the other ones?
Go ahead.
Okay, so number 9. This is one I've never heard of. It's called The Holiday.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. It looks like a sappy.
Hallmark.
Yeah, it sounds like a Hallmark
I think
movie. 7 is Love Actually. 5 is A Christmas Carol, the 2009 version, which I don't think I've seen that particular version.
But I said Christmas Carol.
You did not. You said Scrooged.
No, I said Christmas Carol. I said that one about Ebenezer Scrooge.
That's not the. You said the one from the. You said before. You were talking about the one in the 80s. You were not talking.
Don't read my mind.
I was listening. You said the one from like you said the actor who's in it and everything, and it wasn't that one.
I didn't say an actor.
Yes, you did. All right. So then How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the live action one with Jim Carrey. Oh, A Christmas Carol 2009 also has Jim Carrey in it too. Okay, and then Home Alone 2 Lost in New York is number 3.
Oh, gosh.
So
That's the one that has Donald Trump in it?
Yes.
Yes.
That one moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of these other ones I think are like much better films than some of the ones that are in this top. But, it's okay. They'll be our little secrets.
There we go.
Okay, now I have the top 10. This one I'll just do for points because the whole
I'm
going back and forth
already
thing.
writing down my songs.
Okay. All right. William, would you like to start it off then? The top 10 most sold Christmas songs. And
All
this
right.
one, there's some old ones, there's some new ones, so spread
cool.
it out.
So just okay.
Yeah.
Last Christmas.
Yes, number
All right.
10.
Awesome.
Go,
Oh,
William.
number 10.
All right.
Started from the bottom there. It's got to be All I Want for Christmas Is You by
That's number one.
Mariah Carey. That's
number
huge.
one.
You know
number
that
one.
All I want for
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
I thought earlier
Okay.
we had Carla singing and you would not sing, and now you're just singing for everybody. It's going to be on the internet forever. Okay. William.
I just had it. What was it?
And I've got
Jingle Bells by Frank Sinatra. Is that on there?
Ooh, that's a good guess, but no, it's not.
Okay.
I like that one.
okay, I'm
That's
going to
a
go
really
with Santa Baby.
Oh yeah.
No Santa Baby.
It's not on there. I don't
no,
like
Aretha,
that song.
Aretha.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Not
but
Aretha.
is a
It's
bit weird.
Eartha
Kitt.
Eartha Kitt, yeah.
Yeah.
Eartha Kitt.
Um,
I always liked that song a little too much when I was little. I really enjoyed being sassy and being like, Santa Baby. I did not understand the lyrics, to be fair. I just thought it was fun to sing. Okay.
Up on the housetop.
Ooh, another good one, but no.
okay, how about the John Lennon, So This Is
Nope.
Christmas? No?
No.
Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
No.
No.
Jingle Bell Rock?
Yes,
Oh.
Bobby Helms,
okay.
1957.
All right.
Number 9, Dave. Number 9.
White Christmas. Bing Crosby?
You know what's so crazy is I would have thought that would have been on here because that's such a popular song, but it is not. It is not.
Wow.
How about Blue Christmas by Elvis?
Nope.
Oh, heaven.
I just realized one of these doesn't make sense at all. I think I'm gonna have to call some. Wikipedia failed me.
What?
Because I'm just gonna say this one because I don't think this is a Christmas song.
What?
Number 2, Do You Want to Build a Snowman from Frozen? I just now registered that was what
Do you
number 2.
wanna,
Build a snowman. It has nothing to do
well-
with Christmas. It has to do with snowman, but it doesn't have
Yeah.
anything to do with
Yeah,
Christmas. They just
'cause-
live in Norway.
Because that movie wasn't about Christmas.
No.
Not at all. No. Yeah.
Yeah, Mary got Jingle Bell Rock too. Baby It's Cold Outside is what she guessed. It's a good one, but no.
Oh, it's not on there, huh?
It's
How
interesting.
about that Paul McCartney
No,
annoying?
A Wonderful Christmas Time is not on here either. Yeah, I'm starting to call some nonsense on this, but it has the numbers as to why it is.
How about that one about figgy pudding?
We wish you a
wish
Merry
you-
Christmas. No. The thing is about some of these Christmas songs, though, is that so many people have done them that there's not one record that sold
Right,
more.
right.
You know,
Okay.
there's very few of the classic Christmas ones that were done and memorable, enough that was the one. Any other guesses? There's a couple on here I think y'all could get.
Yeah, I know.
There's
My
so many
mind-
out there, but I can't.
Yeah,
think of them
I'm
right
drawing
now.
a blank.
All right.
Yeah.
You ready to hear what you missed?
Okay.
I guess.
All right, number 8, Feliz Navidad by Jose Feliciano.
I wanna
Number
wish you a
7,
Merry-
Christmas Canon by Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Number 6, Where Are You Christmas, Faith Hill.
Okay, I don't know that one.
Number 5, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, Brenda Lee.
I
Oh,
should've got
yeah.
that.
Number
Rockin'
4,
around.
Mistletoe by Justin Bieber.
Oh. Wow.
And then the only other one you didn't get besides Do You Want to Build a Snowman, which I really don't think anyone would have gotten, is number 3, Christmas Eve / Sarajevo by Trans-Siberian Orchestra as well.
Okay. That's number 3?
That was number 3, yeah.
Okay.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra's got to reach.
Yeah.
You know, another one that you would have thought was any of the Mannheim Steamroller ones. Those are pretty popular too.
Yeah.
I really like
yeah.
those.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyhow, well, thanks for playing Sissel's
Yeah,
Trivia.
yeah,
And
that was-
hey, Mary got Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. Good job.
Okay.
She was really
so-
young, I think, when she sang that too, Brenda Lee.
All right. So that was good. That was very clever.
Thank you.
And I think we did an honorable job, William. Okay, so I am taking a whole different route, and talking about Jesus being born into the world, and he's the
Brenda
king.
Lee was 14 when she sang that. Sorry.
Really, the rock around rock and
she was really young.
She sounds old.
Yeah,
she's
I
got
thought
a
it
very
was a little
mature
older.
voice. No. Yeah, she was young.
14. Wow.
Sorry. Continue.
Is she still alive?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is going to be because we talked about Jesus coming in as the King of Kings, and there being one ruler in the world at the time of his birth and all that.
I keep thinking of Lord of the Rings when you say that.
This is famous world rulers.
Oh no.
Okay, so I'm going to start reading a description. And just whoever calls it out.
My intelligence is going to go down
this
so
might
far.
This might be a William
This is a William.
thing.
So this might be a landslide.
But Cecil, you've come back like every time.
Okay, so
I'm very competitive, but I'm also very ditzy when it comes to these kind of things.
I think I've got a pretty good number of these, but we'll just go until one of y'all raises the white flag and says no mas.
That might be 3 questions in for Cecil.
Okay, so some of these are really easy and some of them are a little bit more obscure. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to let me keep score.
I need to phone a friend.
Okay.
Is that my brother on the line?
Cecil. Okay, here we go. The 6th king of the first Babylonian dynasty issued a new set of laws known as the Code of his name.
King Nebuchadnezzar?
These comprehensive laws included one of the earliest examples of an accused person being considered innocent until proven guilty. And if
does it begin with an N?
No.
No.
Hammurabi. The Hammurabi Code, okay? Historians consider this person the greatest and most powerful leader of ancient Egypt's New Kingdom period. He lived to be at least 90 and ruled for more than 65 years.
Who was the most powerful in
King Hotep?
No.
No?
No. Oh, these are a little harder than I thought.
Yeah, I was going to
And
say.
I'm not guaranteeing I would have gotten them. I'm just, Ramses. You ever heard of Ramses?
Wait, during the time of Moses?
No,
Or
it was during ancient Egypt. Right?
Ancient Egypt, okay.
Ancient Egypt.
All right. Blank of Macedon expanded his empire to become one of the largest in history. He was undefeated in battle and considered one of the history's greatest military leaders. Military academies today still teach his tactics. And I will add that his private tutor was Aristotle.
King Arab?
No, I know his name. Oh, why is his name eluding me? Stop. Hold everyone. Why? Alexander the Great. Before you said Aristotle, I was thinking him, but I was like, is it him? Is it him?
Okay, and I am watching the screen. I know everybody has...
I would have been so mad. I would have been
so competitive. Okay. Blank helped build Rome into a mighty empire, bringing all of Gaul under Roman rule.
Julius Caesar.
Okay.
Caesar. I was
just by a hair. William got
good
it.
job, William.
Julius Caesar. Okay. Here we go. The score is 1-1. Okay, in case you're scoring at home. Blank was the final ruler of the Ptolemaic Empire of Egypt. She had
Cleopatra.
a close relationship with Julius Caesar. Bearing him a son after Caesar's death, she allied with Mark Antony. When his bid to take over the Roman Empire failed, he killed himself by falling on his own sword. Okay, Cleopatra, good. All right. Blank is known for allowing Christianity to flourish in the Roman Empire.
King
Constantine.
Oh, gosh, we got ourselves a contest here. All right.
I just couldn't remember the name fast enough. I was like, that dude. I almost stupidly said, see, the thing is, if I go with the first name that comes to my head, it's always wrong. I would have said Nero. That was the opposite.
All right, it's 2-2. You guys always have these nail-biter games. And this is the last one.
I swear we didn't plan this. I swear we don't plan this.
Okay.
This is too much.
Blank united the majority of Western and Central Europe during the Middle Ages. People call him the father of Europe, and the Pope made him the first Holy Roman Emperor.
I know this.
Why can I not remember his name?
He was strongly in favor of education. Though himself illiterate, he set up many schools across Europe. He's one of the most famous world leaders of the Middle Ages. And his name means Charles the Great.
Huh? Why?
His name means
Charlemagne.
Charlemagne.
Okay.
Chucky the Great, Good old Chucky the Great.
All right, the score remains 2-2.
Why can I not remember these things? I'm having flashbacks to my history cards, less like flashcards I used to do.
Yeah.
He united the nomadic people of Northeast Asia into the Mongol Empire. He was a brutal conqueror, slaughtering entire cities that resisted him. Millions died in battle, famine, or mass extermination under his rule. Despite his fearsome reputation, many respected him for his willingness.
The emperor, dude.
Okay, Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan. I can't remember names for the life of me.
Okay.
I literally cannot.
Hey, it's still 2-2. Blank was a French heroine who led an army to victory
King Napoleon.
against heroine who led an army to victory against the English during the 100 Years' War. The English later captured
I missed the first.
Joan of Arc.
Joan of Arc. Oh, what?
Joan of Arc.
Why was my brother texting me? I'm going to call him. Apparently, Willem's watching because he said, bruh, Alexander. He apparently is watching.
He's guessing these?
I needed your help, Willem, earlier. Come on, man.
Okay.
Keep texting me.
Okay. Forrest said Attila. Okay, so no, Attila the Hun. Okay,
and Forrest got Charlemagne, too.
And Mary got Joan of Arc. And
Dang
Forrest,
it.
okay, so.
I need to pay attention. No more distractions.
Okay, so here we go. The next
Sorry,
one,
Saint Joan of Arc.
William is up 3-2.
Okay, you know what? my Christmas will be ruined. No, I'm joking.
Okay, here we go. The third president of the United States
also
wrote the Declaration of Independence.
Jefferson.
Oh,
Come on. Jefferson.
I think William
He
got
said
it.
Thomas. That could have been another Thomas.
I said Jefferson after I said Thomas.
But I said Jefferson as you were saying Thomas.
Okay, you talked about Brenda Lee writing at 14. Yeah. This is just a random question, but how old was Thomas Jefferson when he wrote the Declaration of Independence?
He was pretty young.
33.
Oh, wow. Good year. Good age, you know.
Okay, we got a few more.
Big things happen at the age of 33.
He was a brilliant French military commander who became...
No. Oh, is it Napoleon? Oh, dang it. I was thinking someone else, actually. I don't know why.
William's running away with this one. Became the Emperor of France after taking over much of continental Europe. After a disastrous foray into Russia, Napoleon was eventually captured and exiled to the island of Elba.
So sad.
Okay.
So sad.
Okay. This one is... I don't think anybody's going to get it. You're going to get this one, but we'll see. Okay, maybe this will be your moment.
Okay.
Blank is one of the most well-known and respected leaders in South America. He led Venezuela, Ecuador, Panama, Peru, Colombia, and Bolivia to independence from the Spanish Empire. He helped these countries hoped they would become allies in a nation known as Gran Colombia. Simón Bolívar.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I know the name. I just wouldn't have not made that connection at all.
As supreme chief of the Lakota Sioux Nation, he led his people to a stunning victory over U.S. troops at the Battle of Little Bighorn. In response, the U.S. sent more troops, eventually forcing the surrender. You know it? The surrender of many of the
What's his name? Hold on a second. Hold on. We're going to get this.
Blank himself surrendered in 1881, then performed in Buffalo Bill's Wild West.
Custer? No.
Wild West show for a time.
Isn't there Custer? General Custer? No? That's completely wrong. Completely wrong.
He's an Indian.
Oh.
He's the supreme chief of the Lakota Sioux Nation.
Is his name really complicated to say?
No, it's very simple. In fact, it's not
Bighorn.
Something like that.
Oh, okay.
But it's you when I say it, you'll say, "Oh yeah, I've heard of it."
Of course I will.
Okay. Sitting Bull.
Sitting Bull.
Okay. Okay, we only got a few more, okay? It's almost over, Sissel. It's almost over.
Help me out of this agony.
Blank was the last czar of the Russian Empire.
No.
He resisted efforts to give more power to the new Russia. Nicholas, yes, Tsar Nicholas. All right, it's 5-3. You can still make yourself respectable.
I'm very sad.
Okay.
Very, very sad.
Okay, we got a few more. This person was a civil rights leader who led the successful campaign
Martin Luther King Jr.
for independence.
Martin Luther King.
India's independence from British rule.
Oh, never mind. Wait, read again, please. Read again.
Okay,
read the beginning part.
He was a civil rights leader who led the successful campaign for India's independence from British rule. His methods of nonviolent protest inspired other leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. in their own freedom fights.
Mahatma Gandhi.
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah. So I didn't want to give Diane credit because I wanted y'all's little competition.
You know what?
Okay,
I'm okay as long as William didn't get it.
Okay, so William. Okay, let's just to make it fun. It's gonna be William against the ladies. Okay, so I'm gonna give that point to the ladies. So
perfect. Thanks, Diane.
Now it's 5-4.
Thanks, Diane. I'll take that pity point.
This person led the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, overseeing the transformation.
Lenin. Oh, yes, good job. Yeah, Lenin. I was just like on that.
Okay, as Prime Minister blank led the United Kingdom.
Winston Churchill.
Winston Churchill, yes.
Just had to start throwing names out.
Okay, good, okay. When Lenin died in 1924, blank took over as leader of
Joseph
the Soviet Union.
Stalin,
okay,
yeah.
Stalin, good. This person started the fascist political party, which became popular
Mussolini.
in Italy.
Okay. You just did a bit, yeah.
All right, man, he's on a roll
I'm like,
now.
yeah, this is where I.
All right, and that's it. That's it. So final score.
We don't need to read this.
The powerful man 8. The lowly women 5.
Oh, someone's gonna take that out of context and just like, what a misogynistic.
I know.
No, it's I've always, my brother, if he's still watching, he's probably cracking up at home because he knows how much badly I do at this kind of stuff because I'm just too slow when it comes to the world leaders.
Isn't that like agonizing?
That's so bad. I knew going into this I was
else-
just not going to do well because it just takes too long for my brain to register.
Oh,
I guess that.
there's a game called Oddly Obvious, and gosh, it's such it's a fun game, but it is just a brain drain because it's that same kind of thing where you got to answer real quickly and
Yeah.
you're trying to put things together
Yeah,
in your
those types
head.
of games are like.
Oh my goodness! And I think the younger you are, the better because your minds are more agile. You know, when you get to be like old, like Sissel, you know,
Yep.
you know, your mind starts
Right.
fading a little bit. And
Right. Yeah.
Oh, guys, I am so sad. I am so sad.
For what?
Just sad.
All right,
This is
so
not how to end 2022. I guess William had his moment.
yeah, that's right. You're gonna
So
have
go back to Bible
you're gonna
trivia
have to
next
think-
week.
You just have to think about this for like a month until our next show. All right. Well, hey, thanks everybody. Thanks Diane for a year of running the board and answering those phone calls. And Sissel, the hatted one, and of
Thanks.
course William, our brilliant high school homeschool student. Thanks everybody for watching. God bless you. Happy Advent. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Bye bye.
Thanks for joining us for Back to the Father. And don't forget, the glory of God is the human person fully alive. If you have comments about the show, email Dave Palmer at grnonline.com.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this edition of your book, especially since it's your first and only so far. I know I think there's probably going to be some other ones on the way. But can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and your background?
Absolutely. So I used to live right near you guys. We were
The pictures and illustrations. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the KTH 910 AM Interview of the Week here on the Guadalupe